Not long ago, we got The Matrix Awakens, this amazing Unreal 5 tech demo that showed us what was possible with a city environment. And now, modders that are also Superman fans are starting to get to it. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, we're going to talk about this Unreal Engine 5 Superman demo that is absolutely mind-blowing. So a few days ago, this mod was posted at itch.io by a guy named Tyson Butler Bashma, and it's simply titled A Superman-Style Flight Experience, and is exactly what it sounds like, a small proof of concept for a potential future Superman game. Now, every once in a while, we do see a few homegrown Superman games come out. Like, remember that Undefeated game that came out on Steam a few years back? We talked about that here on this channel, and frankly, it's a really enjoyable experience as well. Hell, modders have been sneaking Superman into games like GTA 5 for quite a while now, and there is very clearly a lot of fan support for a game starring the Man of Tomorrow. This mod may be the most impressive thing we've seen yet, and that is partially because it uses the visually impressive Unreal Engine 5 Matrix demo as a base and replaces the character from that with a Superman-like model along with sounds and animations. Now, it's relatively simple, but the results are mind-blowing. Like, the potential for a real next-gen experience is here, and right now, this is probably the closest thing we've got to seeing it. Obviously, part of that is that we haven't really seen a Superman game that looks good. We've seen a lot of mods, like I said, but another part of it is that it really looks good. The developers being really careful, staying on their itch.io page, this is not actually Superman. For legal reasons, they made sure to make the character generic enough not to offend any rights holders, but it's also clearly meant to show what a Superman game would be like, and being able to control him in such a stunningly detailed environment with, frankly, a pretty good moveset just leaves us hungry for more. Now, it's interesting because at this point, I've gotten pretty used to the Matrix demo. Like, I've played around with it. I've watched a lot of other people glitch it and find little things they can get out of it. There's a particularly interesting video on how to get out of the borders, so you can go check out the city beyond the actual city. I mean, it doesn't yield anything particularly special, but it's certainly interesting. But I've been for a while waiting to see when someone would actually make a mod for it. A lot of the reason why people don't is because it was a console exclusive. But Epic Games released the city as a project that people could load up using the Unreal environment, and another developer packaged it as a regular game and put it up on Google Drive as a 17GB download, and people have been starting to tinker with it. This demo is basically the first big result, I think, that we're going to see from people using this city as a sort of start point for their own projects. Now, it should come as no surprise that the demo is stunning. Uses pretty much every trick in the new Unreal Engine 5 playbook to show what a truly next-gen experience would look like. This is, of course, talking about the Unreal 5 Matrix demo, but, like, this is the list of systems you can find here. World Partition, Nanite, Lumen, Chaos, Rule Processor, Mass AI, Niagara, Metahumans, Metasounds, and Temporal Super Resolution. That is a ton of buzzwords, but it basically adds up to why Unreal Engine 5 demos can look this good and also are able to run at all on modern hardware. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background to get all of this to work. Now, all you can really do as Superman is fly around, but the effects combined with the visuals create this really visceral feeling to the experience of flying that very few other games have managed to reach. Like, look at this. It is stunning, and it just feels cool as hell. Now, of course, we'd like to be able to do a few more things, like use Superman's ice breath or heat vision or just punch someone through a building, but it actually seems like this mod author isn't interested in exploring this any further. It's gonna be likely up to future creators to take the ideas here and expand on them. But the thing that's interesting there is that some guy just basically figured out Superman flight in video games. Again, this is something that many developers have taken on and no one has really successfully done. What I would love to see is a proper AAA Superman game, but the best we ever seem to get are these types of mods. So I guess we'll kind of just take what we can get. It's also important to keep in mind that, yeah, this looks incredible, but it also comes at a price. This isn't very optimized, and it even struggles to get a decent frame rate on even our beastly PCs with NVIDIA 3080s in them. So keep in mind it's not perfect. Again, a large reason for why that is that this is just built on a project file of the Matrix City that was released to PC and that people are basically just starting to tinker with. But the idea is such a simple and fun one that it's pretty easy to overlook. Just make sure you've got a PC with some horsepower before even deciding to try to load this up, it is, at the moment, a system melter. Compare this to the last officially licensed Superman game, Superman Returns, and I mean, seriously. That game is now over 15 years old, and it looked pretty rough back when it originally came out, so it looks ancient now. The fact someone is able to make something that looks this good using a demo city and some stock assets is simply incredible, and it really shows how far gaming, like as a landscape, has come. Keep in mind, the guy who created this mod isn't just some random. Tyson Butler Boschma is actually the creative director and founder of Toybox Games, so he's not just some nobody, he has some experience working with the Unreal environment, and that's a big reason why this mod, though small, does look as professional as it does. However, it's still just one guy. And even though all you can do is fly, he still managed to add some pretty cool features here. There's 5 different poses you can cycle through while flying, like there's a super fast flying option. You can even do a heroic landing by fast flying directly into the ground. It's all really impressive and slick. And once again, I just look at it. The whole thing is visually incredible. The city itself looks almost photorealistic at times, and the real-time shadows, heavy traffic, and large crowds, it's really impressive. Like, that's mostly the Matrix demo, and it's definitely not perfect. When you go around exploring the Matrix demo, you can find some really strange imperfections, actually. There's places where, like, rooms in buildings look really bizarre. There's alleys that no human could actually walk through. Places where 2 buildings come up against one another, and clearly a window overlaps in a very strange way. Some have speculated there was an algorithmic element to the building of the city, and I wouldn't be shocked by that, but I also don't care, because again, it's not a full game. It's just a demo where you can drive through a city, but then you add Superman in on top of that, and screwing around in the city is just all around a ton of fun, especially if you're a Man of Steel fan. If you want to try this whole thing out, it's not hard. While it is based on that project file that Epic released of the city, it's not simply a project file, it is packaged as a game. We have a link to the mod in the description. Downloading it is a little trickier than what you might be used to, though, at least at the moment we're publishing this video. The mod exceeds the itch.io file size limit, so the download link on the page only gets you a readme and a screenshot. So there's a link provided in the text document that gets the link to the actual mod file. I know it's complex and weird sounding, but it is legit, and that's really all you need to play it. You don't need to download the Unreal Engine 5 or load up the Epic Games Store. You just click on City Sample and you're good to go. Keep in mind, it takes a while for the city to fully load in and get everything warmed up. A lot of this is textures loading into RAM and basically slowly getting the game to the point of where it would be if there were a load screen and there was some sort of optimization to how that is happening. Again, there is none of that. Like, at some point, games are optimized so that you're only loading certain amounts of the world as you're traveling through it. Maybe a system like Horizon Zero Dawn is being implemented where it's only rendering stuff that is directly on screen at any given time. Stuff that eases the load on the hardware. But after a minute or two, the game should run at a pretty consistent frame rate if you've got a PC with the suggested system requirements. The modder even added a smaller, more optimized city for you to try out if you've got a slightly less powerful city. All in all, it's just a cool mod that we'd love to see as kind of a basis for a future Superman game. Like, Superman is a superhero that game developers just can't seem to get right, but this modder seemed to get it right. Like, this is an enjoyable and workable demo. If there were a game built on top of these types of dynamics, we might actually get a Superman game that people actually enjoy and want to play. Superman's ability to fly has been pretty much the most difficult thing for developers to try to recreate, but the Superman style flight experience just makes it look easy. And again, even though this is somebody who works at a game company and knows their way around Unreal, it's still a single person that did this. A guy made a better Superman game than large teams of people in the past. And although it's certainly not a complete game, it does show us what's possible. If you want a glimpse of how a real next-gen superhero game could look, this is where you should look. It is absolutely mind-blowing, and what they're able to pull off here is really encouraging for fans of not only Superman, but just superheroes in general. We've kind of been sitting on a lot of games that don't really show us next-gen, but after that Matrix Awakens demo, it seems like we're kind of finally there. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. The best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe. Don't forget to enable all notifications. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter @FalconTheHero. We'll see you next time right here on gameranx.